Hello there, welcome. My name's John. You might have seen me. I currently am a psychic on Oranum, but I just thought I'd like to introduce yourself a little bit more. I do belong to a UK Paranormal investigating team, as you can see here, called the Fifth Dimension UK, and I'm also obviously a paranormal investigator with them. And I'd just like to share one of my experiences that I had while doing an investigation with these guys. Basically went to a location. I can't disclose the location because of it's a working hospital, but it was a hospital, and went there. We started our investigation at approximately midnight. From the very first off, we walked into the hospital. I kept seeing what I thought was like kind of a mist that was around. When we took photographs we couldn't see it, but I could see it with my physical eyes. So that was the first thing. Anyway, a bit later on we got EMF meters and that sort of thing. So a little bit later on we went into one of the patient rooms, all electronic key coded, no physical keys or anything like that. Three of us in the building, no one else in the building whatsoever. And we got an EMF, well, it was a K2 meter actually, and I sat down in one of the seats and said, obviously, is there anyone there? Can you give us a sign that you're here? And nothing happened. I then got up and I left the K2 meter in the chair that I've been sitting. Said again, is there anyone there? And the K2 registered that there was something there, or there was an electromagnetic field there from whatever source it was getting it from. So I moved the K2 meter to where I was sitting and it stopped. So I got up out of that chair, moved on to the next chair, left the K2 meter there, asked again, the K2 meter went off again in the next chair that it had previously been on. And so I did this constantly, and I literally went round the room in this room, and it was just as if something was following me from chair to chair. So by the time I'd got to about the sixth chair, as you can imagine, me and my other team members said, right, okay, we've had enough in this room. Obviously we'd left all our mobile phones outside in the hallway, so there was nothing that could interfere with the K2 meter within that room, and we couldn't get out of the room. So panic sets in, as you can imagine, and we're there trying to get out of this room thinking, oh my god, we're going to be stuck here now till whenever because we can't get out. 20 minutes later we're all saying, come on, get out. The door clicks and it just opens on its own. So obviously we managed to get out. So I've just got to set the scene for you. So we're now in the foyer of the hospital, and you can imagine a big black corridor that goes into nothing, and all the while down the corridor we are convinced that we can hear doors slamming, and it's just as if doors are slamming and whatever it is coming closer and closer and closer and closer, and we're shining torches down there and there's nothing there, but we can continually hear these doors banging. So we decide to go up onto the second floor. So we go up on the second floor, and an office had been left open to us because in this particular office there's been certain things that have been happening, so they have agreed to let this office open. So that office was the only office that was open on that floor. So this was about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We go into the office, we're asking, is anyone there, etc, etc, and I ask if there's anyone there, and immediately every phone in that particular office lights up, and on the digital screen it has, you have a message. So we're there picking up the phones up to see if we can get a message. Obviously we cannot get a message, there's no message that we can get. So we comes out the office, we go searching down the corridor, looking into the glass panels to make sure that none of the other phones have lit up in the other offices across the floor. None of them had. So this is about 2:30 now. So we go back into the room, all the phones are still lit up, as if somebody's trying to call you. And so therefore I ask again, and I say, thank you for doing that. If there's any way that you can do that again, maybe you can turn the phones off. All the phones go off. All the lights go out, everything. And you start then thinking, oh my god, there's something here that's trying to communicate with me in a physical sense. We go through the whole system as if it's somebody playing a prank on us, is it somebody calling, but then you go into the realms of, well, if it's somebody calling, they've got to call this number with this extension number at exactly the same time for all the phones to light up, is it a technical fault? We couldn't find any technical faults ourselves. We couldn't find. We asked later on in the daytime if there was any technical problems. There wasn't. So anyway, so we then go up onto the top floor, and we're on the top floor, and not all the offices are shut, so we're just on the top floor, and we can still all the time hear banging and doors shutting, etc., etc. So we're on the top floor, and we're saying, is anyone there? Nothing. Then all of a sudden we hear what we think is someone knocking on the door of the office. So obviously we can't actually see or get into the office, but what we can do is just to the side of the door there's a little glass panel that we can look into and look down all the computers, right? And all the computers are in, like, gone to bed, standby, right? So we ask again if anyone's there, and again we hear what we think is like a knock on the door. We look into this little panel, and all the computers have lit up in the room, just as if somebody's gone down every computer, moved the mouse, and they've become active. So by this time it was getting on for maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. So I said, right, okay, we've had enough. We know there's something going on here. Let's, call the investigation to a close. Let's go back, see if we can review any footage, see what we can get. So we're downstairs, and we are actually packing up to get away, and I have left the dictaphone running all night, and I just say, as a last effort and as a last thing, is there anyone there? And basically someone breathes in my ear. Okay, now I've actually got the EVP of this, and I'm going to play it to you now. So this is the actual footage before anything else has been taken out or anything like that. So listen to this carefully, and you'll hear me discussing what I've just heard. Okay, so listen to this. Come on now. So there you have it. So that was the first one. Now, as you heard there, you can definitely hear something going. I mean, you can hear me doing that sound as well, but it wasn't me on the first occasion. So what I did is, I haven't messed around with the audio or anything like that, but what I've just done is I've just isolated that little bit, just sort of in the middle, and tried to isolate it. And actually what you can hear is you can hear a voice before that, before the breath as well. And I've got it here, so I'll play this, and I'll play this a couple of times to you to see if you can hear it. But this is the actual bit isolated. So as you can hear something before that. I'll play it again, and one more time. So there you have it. So I still don't know what that is. I'm still open to, I mean, it could have been anything. But all I know is that place really had quite a... I don't get normally scared, obviously, because I've been doing this since I was 14. I've been a spiritualist since I was 14. But that place did actually quite really freak me out, because it was just one thing constant, one thing after another, after another, after another. And it was just one of them things that was really, by the end of the night you'd had enough and you just wanted to go home. And even when we come out the building and we looked up, we could still hear what we thought were like doors slamming inside the building. And a little bit of the history of the building is that there was actually a murder on the site that the hospital has built, and I think the doors slamming was the man that was running after his wife when he murdered her through the house, and I think that's what we could hear. It was her panicking, running through the doors to either get away from him, or perhaps he was getting away from her. I don't know, but yeah, it was certainly one of the most scariest places I've actually been to in a long time. But if you'd like to know more, or if you'd like to come and chat to me more on Oranum, you can do. My name's JONMOSS2000. You can look for me on Oranum, which is www.oranum.com, and you can find me there. So feel free to come into free chat Ask me anything about my experiences, ask about paranormal activity, or indeed if you want a reading, you can also get a reading from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a story, guys. You know, you can do a search. As I said, you'll find me on Oranum most days. You know, but all as I say is happy ghost hunting, and let's hope we can all have a good 2013. Alright, bye bye.